There's a tiny part of us that always roots for the underdog in boxing. No one gives them much of a chance to emerge victorious, but they find a way to do so based on sheer will and determination. It's one of the reasons why combat sports are so popular. Nothing beats an underdog surmounting impossible odds to make their dreams a reality. This article will explore some of the most memorable upsets in boxing history and relive the stories behind them. The 20 most memorable upsets in boxing history. Ready to find out who pulled off the biggest upsets in boxing history? Let's jump right into our list. 1. Buster Douglas vs Mike Tyson.
Look at them as they exchange here in round one. Oh, that right hand actually caught Mike. As that big lunging left hook me up to the closing seconds of this, the first one. Wow! With the right hand is Buster Douglas, and Mike comes right in front of him. Look at this, Buster landing some shots. This is surprising here. Pretty surprising. Of course, Mike, at any time when you come in, said Larry Residillo, he's the judge. We're actually talking about Octavio Miran.
Buster Douglas is the standard all upsets in combat sports are now measured with. No one gave him much of a chance heading into his title bout against Tyson. At the time, Tyson sported a 37-0 professional record, with most of his wins coming via vicious knockouts. Douglas was a mediocre boxer who had blown his first chance to secure a championship when he faced Tony Tucker for the IBF heavyweight title. The odds makers gave him a 42-1 underdog, which seemed about right heading into the fight. Douglas surprisingly held his own as the fight progressed, and he survived the count when Tyson dropped him in the 8th round.
Pretty good fight. And the fact of the matter is, it's Buster that's making it the fight. Look at these shots landed by Buster Douglas. And if Buster was out of gas in the early going of this round, he's got it back together in the late portion here. Grazing left hand, chopping right, misses. Uppercut landed by Mike Tyson. That's one of the few uppercuts he's landed in the fight. We've been looking for that all night. Oh, that's a nice uppercut that time. The drop.
Douglas went on to knock Tyson out in the 10th round, securing the biggest upset in combat sports history. If you had bet 100 Singapore dollars on Douglas, you'd have walked away with $4,200.
Doesn't have the good balance. His legs together as Buster's landing these. Oh, nice uppercut by Buster Douglas. Look at this. He's knocked Mike Tyson down for the first time in his career.
2. Leon Spinks vs Muhammad. Ali was nearing the end of his legendary career when he squared off against Spinks in 1978. Spinks only had 7 professional fights under his belt at the time, and few believed that would be enough to get past albeit an aging Ali. Spinks went on to put on the best performance of his boxing career during his 15-round action-packed fight, edging out the decision. Unfortunately for Spinks, he lost the rematch several months later and never lived up to the high expectations many placed on him. 3. Randy Turpin vs Sugar Ray Robinson.
Robinson moves in and misses. On the other hand, Turpin's blows have been hitting their mark.
Robinson was on a 90-fight winning streak when he defended his NYSAC, NBA, and the ring middleweight titles against Turpin. Turpin was a 20-1 underdog, and many expected the Brit to be in over his head when he stepped inside the ring against Robinson. However, Turpin proved to be a better fighter than many people gave him credit for, and he took full advantage as Robinson's gas tank ran on fumes later in the fight.
Looking for an opening to land his punches. Left, as Robinson is forced back across.
That earned him a decision against one of the greatest boxers ever. Robinson got his revenge and knocked Turpin out when the two fought again a few months later.
Won't let him clinch. He's propping the guy up. I can't stand seeing a guy taking a beating like this. I want to climb in and help Turpin. Can he do anything? This is murder. Goldstein, watch this guy, Ruby. He could be killed on you. There, that's right. I would.
4. Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston.
Cassius, awkwardly fast. Good long left lead that might keep the champion a bit off balance.
This was one of the fights that paved the way for Ali's greatness. Liston was one of the scariest fighters of his era, and he was coming off consecutive wins against Floyd Patterson, who was the man before Liston beat him. Many people expected things to go bad for the big-talking Ali when he stepped inside the ring to face Liston. Ali shocked the world by outclassing Liston so severely that he quit on his stool after only 6 rounds. It was then the boxing world realized Ali could back up most of the checks his mouth wrote.
Ladies and gentlemen, get up there, Joe. Get up there. Get up in the ring.
Five. James Braddock versus Max Baer.
Hasn't done too much so far. Feints to throw from Braddock. No respecter of reputation. Body shots from Baer. Guy's death warrant.
This upset was so colossal, Braddock became known as the Cinderella Man, and his story became an award-winning movie. Max Baer was a powerful puncher with a reputation for knocking opponents out and was the newly minted Ring NBA and NYSAC heavyweight champion. Braddock was meant to be an easy payday for Baer despite a few recent respectable wins under his belt. The oddsmakers had Braddock as a 10-1 underdog heading into the fight. He surprised fans with his ability to take a shot, took everything Baer had, and kept walking forward. That earned him a unanimous decision and 3 heavyweight titles.
And Braddock. Can Max Baer find the big shot? Good solid right hand. And another one. Oh, and he's staggered. Braddock, the first time since the 7th round.
Unfortunately for Braddock, his title reign was short-lived as he lost his next fight to Joe Louis.
Left to Braddock's head, and then a left on the back of Braddock's head. Don't make any mistake, it wasn't far enough back to be out of line, right over the ear, I should say under the ear, and there Braddock came up with a right uppercut that missed. Louis is back out the way in time. Now Braddock's in the center of the ring, and Louis gave him, and Braddock is down.
6. Max Schmeling versus Joe Louis.
And of course a world. So we had the Brown Bomber, 30 years of Schmeling. Joe Louis, a tender.
Louis had already established himself as a force to be reckoned with in the heavyweight division when he squared off against Schmeling. Sporting a 24-0 professional record, few expected Schmeling to put up much of a fight against the hard-hitting Louis. However, Schmeling had appropriately prepared for the fight and studied Louis's tendencies. His hard counter rights kept finding their target.
Beat Max Schmeling. Oh, good punch again here. Impact, but Max, a crunching right hand. And despite Louis sprinting out for the shots from Schmeling, so reminding you that Max Schmeling and Mickey Walker won a losing one.
He eventually put Louis away with his barrages during the 12th round, handing the Brown Bomber his first loss.
Well, this impassive look on Louis' face hides a scrambled mind as he goes again from a lovely right hand.
Louis went on to knock Schmeling out during their rematch.
Louis moves in. Ripping punches by the Brown Bomber sends Schmeling down again. A crushing
sweeping right explodes on Schmeling's jaw, and Max goes down for the third time.
7. Lloyd Honeyghan vs Donald Curry.
Low blow by Curry. Got more punches than he should. And Hunigan is throwing nice right hand again.
Many considered Curry to be the best thing in the welterweight division since Sugar Ray Leonard. He had secured multiple titles at that point in his career and sported a 25-0 professional record. Fans barely knew who Lloyd was heading into the fight, even though the Brit sported a respectable 27-0 record. The competition in the UK wasn't seen as comparable to the competition in the US, so many expected Curry to outclass him. That's not what happened inside the ring, though. Lloyd was so dominant during the fight that Curry quit in his corner after the 6th round to stop the humiliating beating he was receiving.
He said he was in the press conference. I'm taking the title out of here. Conferencing such a great sport.
8. Evander Holyfield vs Mike Tyson.
That's a game. He's got to settle down into the top of Tyson. Sort of boxing match rather than just.
Tyson lost a lot of his mystique as a boxer after his loss to Buster Douglas, but he managed to restore his reputation after a stint in prison. He went back to steamrolling opponents as he did during his earlier days, looking as ferocious as he ever did inside the ring. Holyfield was considered a washed-up boxer then, and he opened up as a 25-1 underdog. However, Holyfield lived up to his nickname The Real Deal, and showed the boxing world he was indeed the real deal.
In November 8th, I flew in to see the fight, and it didn't happen. Could legitimize this fight the right time. The middle, from on the inside. But I'll tell you, Tyson, take. Coming on.
Holyfield frustrated Tyson by outboxing him and clinching up whenever Tyson let his hands go. He knocked him out in the 11th round and proved his victory wasn't a fluke by dominating their rematch before Tyson was disqualified for biting his ear.
Do is keeping the rein off early in the round, as we talked about, and firing a shot, picking and choosing, smart boxing, choosing his chances and his places to slug, and he just unloads hook, right hand, uppercut, mixes them up, and he digs for it and goes for it. Mike is in trouble here, and he's just getting teed off on, I think, not only hurt, but just too tired to continue.
Combination of the head. Evander Holyfield back to Tyson with a left hook to the head of Holyfield.
He hurt Mike really good with that right hand.
9. Muhammad Ali vs George Foreman.
Foreman taking a face to you. Ali to the left. Ali tries to tie him up. He's leaning over the head of Ali. Ali's up him. 1 minute left separates them. Vicious hook. There's a real strong right hand. Ali, a straight left jab thrown by Foreman. Has Ali in the...
This was one of the biggest fights that ever took place in boxing history, and it lived up to the hype. Foreman, the reigning WBC, WBA, and ring heavyweight champion, was the Mike Tyson of his day, and no one had been able to figure out how to beat him. Ali was also established at that point, but Joe Louis and Ken Norton had beaten him. Many didn't give Ali much of a chance, but that didn't stop him from throwing every insult he could at Foreman. Ali backed his talk up inside the ring, using the rope-a-dope strategy to tire Foreman before knocking him out in the 8th round.
Right hand. Another sneaky right hand. This time he works over the shoulder of Foreman. It's a combination. Foreman gets up to the knee. 8. That's it. The fight is stopped.
10. Fritzie Zivic vs Henry Armstrong. Known as Homicide Hank during his prime, Armstrong successfully defended the world welterweight title 18 times, and it was a foregone conclusion that Zivic would be number 19. Zivic shocked fans when he proved too much for Armstrong, coming close to finishing him during the final round. Zivic earned a decision victory and one of the biggest upsets in boxing history.